YouTube only, Christmas Eve. Joe House is here. We're going to do a little bit of the $1 million picks because we love all the Christmas games. This is an unusual situation, House. 2 NFL games on Wednesday, 5 NBA games, another Thursday night NFL game. We're going to do $1 million picks on my podcast on Thursday, but why would we not jump in on some of these beautiful bets?
They're magnificent games on Christmas. What a gift we've been given. We've complained over the course of the year about these great teams having to play on short rests and all that stuff. Put that in the rearview mirror. We've got majestic football on Christmas, BS.
All right, Chiefs, Steelers, and Ravens, Texans. And I want to bring in Seahawks, Bears too, because it's Thursday night, but we're putting $1 million picks up as part of the podcast on Thursday night. But we also have 5 basketball games. And I think there's a way to do some small NFL bets, but then maybe a little master Christmas buffet parlay with some NBA and some NFL.
You know,
just
when
like
you
a taster, like we make big Christmas casserole.
The Christmas buffet, it really is that time of year, and it speaks to you and I and to all of our great listeners.
Yeah. Chiefs Steelers, Chiefs -2.5. KC clinches the 1 seed with a win. Steelers have not looked like the same team for about a month. Their O-line is basically destroyed. Pickens is hurt, might play, might not play. Joey Porter hurt, probably playing. Their secondary's banged up. Really, the only case for them is can they just try to run the ball on the Chiefs and maybe their pass rush can bother the Chiefs. The Chiefs are on their 4th left tackle. I don't see really any case at all. The Chiefs win this game. They lock down the 1 seed. They're done. They basically from Wednesday on get to rest all the way until round 2 of the playoffs, which will be like January 20th. So all they have to do is win tomorrow. They won't play another meaningful game for 4 weeks. Everybody rests, get the offensive line. And the Steelers need the game, but they don't really need it because they're kind of locked into the 5 seed or the 6 seed, whatever. It's slim chance. Baltimore's going to beat Houston. We'll talk about that in a second. Slim chance they're going to get the AFC North. I think at this point, the odds reflect it. So Chiefs -2.5, or do you want to go alt line? What are you thinking?
Ooh, well, definitely the 2.5. Mahomes is undefeated against the Pittsburgh Steelers in his career, 3-0 against the spread and straight up, 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. And we do have some rivaling, competing trends here. Mahomes as an underdog or favorite of 3 or less. We love that one. 26, 9-1 against the spread. But what you're going up against is Tomlin coming off of losses. Tomlin as a home dog, 21-6-3 against the spread. I mean, it's amazing. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, 2 things. First of all, we've been putting a lot of eggs in George Pickens D's nuts, that basket, haven't we? Pickens D's nuts has been like, will he be back? That's the key to this Pittsburgh offense. Even if he is back, I'm not sure that I'm ready to invest in Pittsburgh. At the end of the game, when these 2 offenses have the ball, which one do you trust more? And this is kind of an easy one to me. And you laid out the case. Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid does not fuck around under these circumstances. They go out, they put the hammer down, they get what they need, so they're ready for the playoff run. This is exactly a nice spot for the Chiefs. Love them on the money line. Love them in money line parlays. Our anchor parlay strategy was successful last weekend. 4-2. We went, made a lot of money.
We would have won more if Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt.
That's
right.
A great point. Yes, and if the Wiz, we don't have a nickname for Shanahan. Do you guys have a nickname for Shanahan?
He's gonna get fired. How about that? Yeah, last week we won $210,000. We're up $1.464 million for the year, but that Niners loss really hurt. They're up 4. I mean, not the Niners, the Eagles loss. They're up 14. Great for you as a Washington fan.
Magnificent. They look at the guy over my shoulder. There he is, right there.
So KC Steelers. One other stat I noticed.
Yeah,
KC's played 15 games and they've won 14.
Is that
I just looked that up on a fancy NFL stats website. 15 games, they've won 14 in them.
Yeah.
This to me seems like a classic. They have a knack for winning these. And you know what's interesting? It feels like their offense is getting a little bit better as the year goes along. A little more explosive. Hollywood Brown came back. Worthy's starting to get more involved. Pacheco's back.
Worthy props is a nice way to look at some of this too. Over on, if you can get a 4.5 receptions, they're building him into the offense over these last few weeks. And even with Hollywood Brown's return, they have him in screen positions, he's going to get his touches. So I like this.
So Mahomes on Christmas Day on Netflix is another factor.
Oh,
that's just removing all stats, all advanced stuff, all game tape. It's just like it's the first Netflix Christmas Day ever. Mahomes is really going to lose in Pittsburgh. We lost on Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago, and we talked about how we stayed at the craps table for one too many shooters. They treated us great. We hit our future overs before the season.
Not the first time.
Pittsburgh to make the playoff bet, all that stuff. And during the season, over and over again, they came through. And then 2 weeks ago, it was one too many against Baltimore. I just don't feel like this is the same Pittsburgh team right now. When we get to the playoffs, I'm going to be excited to take them. But I think they're banged up. I think their offensive line is banged up. And without Pickens, it's just a lot of pressure on Russ. You saw it last week. You know, he made 2 terrible plays last week, and it was the reason they lost.
Even if he's back, even if we get Pickens these nuts and he's on the field, what kind of capacity? He's not going to be in full roar, full tear. And to Pittsburgh's credit, they've been resourceful. They got the deep balls that they needed. That game was a 50-50 game on Saturday. Just putting a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. I like the idea of that pressure with Mahomes on the other side.
So KC is third against the run. And the case for Pittsburgh in this game would be they run the ball down KC's throat. Russ makes a couple plays, one long Pickens play.
Yeah.
And then the Chiefs can't get anything going on offense. I just think the Chiefs are better. It's in Pittsburgh, which is the only reason this line's under 3. I don't think the Chiefs care where they play.
I agree.
So we'll mark down KC minus 2.5 because the other thing I had for you, I think we're both going to like Baltimore in this Houston game. And the other thing I had for you is KC plus 3.5 adjusted. So we're just saying it's a 3-point game or KC wins. However it turns out, they just don't lose by more than 3. With the Baltimore money line is minus 108.
Oh, near even money.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we're going to do that?
So we could just do that and not even mess around with the KC minus 2.5.
Let's mess around with it. Yeah, let's do both. Kansas City minus 2.5.
I'm just saying we could put a
little
giant
bit of a track record there.
We could just put a giant Christmas bet. That could be the parlay. KC plus 3.5, Baltimore money line, and we wrap it up.
A big number, a big
just
present
wrap it up.
for everybody.
Put a nice big fat. We have some $1 million money to play with.
Man.
Nice big fat one. So the Ravens game. The Ravens are first at DVOA, first offense, 10th defense. Houston dropped to 13th. Houston's offense is 24th DVOA, and that was with Tank Dell, who's now gone. They just signed Deontay Johnson, who's like the Yankees Christmas gift swap guy. I got Deontay Johnson. I got to give him to Rich House.
And try and stick him with it. So he has to keep it.
Offensive line is bad. There's been a lot of stuff written the last 2 days about Baltimore's defense, how it's kind of getting a little bit better. They moved Kyle Hamilton to safety. It's not awesome. Yeah. It's a little better. I like the way they're looking. This is another one, like Lamar on Christmas. Houston's locked into their AFC South title already. The Baltimore money line seems fantastic. The game's in Houston, which is why the line is 5.5.
It's all the way up to 5.5 now?
I thought it's up to 5.5, right?
It was in the 4.5 range.
5.5 on FanDuel right now, Tuesday morning.
Nobody's waiting. Everybody grabbed the 4s, the 4.5s, the 5s. I'm fine with laying it. I'm fine with however you want to play Baltimore. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I can't see the case for Houston, and I don't think Houston's that good to begin with, and especially as they swim into the bigger contender pool. So we have that Baltimore money line bet. I can also offer you Baltimore minus 9.5 adjusted.
Oh,
they win by 10 or more. That's plus 172 on FanDuel.
Reminder, Lamar Jackson also undefeated against the Texans. We have 2 quarterbacks that are undefeated against their opponents on Christmas. Lamar Jackson 4-0 straight up and 4-0 against the spread. When Baltimore with Lamar Jackson plays Houston and beats their ass, they beat them by margin. Like what we watched in the playoffs at the beginning of this calendar year. They cover by average of 15 points per game. So if you want to alt spread this one up, put a little taster on it, I'm here for it. Baltimore has every incentive to try and win the AFC North. And I think that they're going to do that. And I just don't see a case for Houston's defense, which was
or how about Houston's offense?
Yeah.
What is the Stroud numbers are pretty alarming for this year. And he's had weapons going in and out, but I just, all you have to do is cover Nico Collins. And how are they going to score? Mixon would have to have this crazy game.
Well, and they don't score in the second half.
Baltimore wins the division. If Pittsburgh loses once, they beat Houston, and then they beat Cleveland week 18.
I like their odds.
They'll know heading into this game because they're the second Christmas game, Joe House.
Yes.
They'll know heading into this game if KC has beaten Pittsburgh.
Great point. Great point, BS.
Awesome reason to put those two together as a little parlay action, because I think if KC beats Pittsburgh, I think this Baltimore line goes to like 7. And I think the money line goes to like minus 320, something like that.
Let's
so why
get
wouldn't
it
we
down
grab
now.
it now?
I have one more wrinkle for you that you're not going to like. You're going to tell me to stop messing around.
Okay,
but the other wrinkle to this, the way that we're lining up the divisional outcomes, is if the Chiefs win, and we expect them to win, then it takes the pressure off of Buffalo. And Buffalo against the Jets, it's a double-digit number right now, and there's absolutely no
saw that.
I would layer that into it.
I calculated it, and here's where I landed. I don't want to bet on the Jets.
I know. I understand. I just felt obliged to make that observation out loud.
Their coach might be the stupidest of all the coaches now.
That's really saying something, too.
Yeah, he might be the number one stupid coach. And on top of Rodgers looks like he doesn't want to be there anymore. Garrett Wilson's already basically putting himself on eBay.
Hey, Garrett, Washington. We have a great quarterback down here. He'd love to throw you the football.
So you're saying throw in the Jets money line, or just the Jets plus 10?
No, just grab the points. The Jets are going to lose. They'll figure out a way to lose. They'll invent a way to lose, but double-digit spread, that's all. And I'm not saying that we make a big commitment to it. Under no circumstances would we ever come on this program and tell people to bet their hard-earned money on the god-awful goddamn Jets.
Little tiny parlay.
A tiny taste, because that puts the odds up into a territory that feels like Christmas.
I'll write that one down. So we're going to put some stuff with Seahawks Bears on Thursday night too.
Yes.
Because Seattle needs a win.
Yes.
And then they need the Rams to lose to Arizona. And if those two things happen, Seattle can win the division next week. So this is an all-time must-win game for Seattle, or the season's over. On top of that, Chicago's lost their last 9. Chicago is 42-102 in their last 3 games. Caleb's 2 more losses away from tying Troy Aikman's rookie QB losing streak record of 11. So congrats to him. Just every way you look at this, it feels like Seattle money line is the play.
Yep.
What if I offered you Baltimore minus 9.5 adjusted with the Seattle money line plus 312?
Oof. You got to get something
little
down
Christmas
on that.
appetizer on that.
Get something down on that. Okay. That's a shrimp cocktail. And a couple
just
crab
a little
cakes.
tiny one.
Yeah.
And then the other one that's fun, which I don't want to do, I wanted to mention it: Seattle money line with the Arizona money line. So you're basically here's the case for this house. The NFL needs a Sunday night game.
Oh, for week 18?
They need a Sunday night game with stakes.
For week 18,
the
right?
2 options are Minnesota versus Detroit or Seattle versus the Rams.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Detroit. Minnesota would have to beat Green Bay. Detroit would have to beat, I think, San Francisco, which I think that they'll do that. I don't know about Minnesota, Green Bay. But Sunday night, we could get Minnesota, Detroit would be an awesome game for the 1 seed, for the whole shebang.
For the division. And
Green Bay beats Minnesota. We don't get that.
Right.
We would need Seattle, Arizona, which makes me wonder, do the Rams get any calls in Arizona? Plus 377. Seattle, Arizona, NBC just funneling. I don't know. I'm just the conspiracy parlay plus 377.
It's a good L, but it's a good L. If Sean Hockley shows up in Arizona for that game,
go back at it. Sean Hockley's busy.
I'm here to tell you right now, it doesn't matter how long the game goes. He'll add in enough time to make sure that this works out.
So I don't want to do that, but I want to mention it. Okay, Christmas Day, 2 games I want to target for NBA.
Okay, I'm listening.
The Dallas Mavericks are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. You and I placed a big wager with Hench and Sal yesterday.
We did
on the Minnesota under for the season. Under wins 46.5 with Indiana over 40.5. And then what was the other under we had? A Sacramento. That was like 41.5 under. So basically we're shorting the Sacramento Minnesota seasons and betting on Indiana, who beat Golden State last night. Minnesota looked terrible again last night. I made this joke on Twitter. I'll make it again. Minnesota somehow on Christmas Day. And it's like you could have their sullen, angry energy on your TV, or you could just get it from your family. But I can't think of a worse Christmas experience than watching this Timberwolves team right now, because they are miserable together. Anyway, they're playing Dallas, money line bet, easy. Any objections?
Nope, none whatsoever.
Poor Minnesota.
Yeah,
they really had a beautiful thing with Towns. They traded him because of the money.
It was a good spin of the roulette wheel, right? A good roll of the dice.
It made sense on paper, and then Randall comes. None of it works. He's miserable. DiVincenzo's miserable. Everyone doesn't seem like they like playing with Gobert. Conley got 100 million years old all of a sudden. They have no point guard.
Yeah, but my deep NBA analytics, it's a point guard thing. We thought that DDV would be a solution. It looked on paper to be a beautiful kind of thing. He's not. He doesn't do it. He doesn't set them up the way that they need. And Conley is deader than fried chicken, to borrow a term from Raheem.
So Mavs minus 210, and we can put that with Nuggets Suns. The Nuggets minus 152.
So I want to push back on this one a little bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because I don't like that they played Monday night and then they're coming back for a rematch on Christmas. And Booker didn't play Monday night. And what's his face? Grayson Allen's in concussion protocol. I don't know if he'll be cleared by Wednesday. But I don't like those back-to-back matchups where one team whoops the other's ass. And it was close for like a half. Durant and Beal both had 23 points.
So you're staying away.
It makes me nervous.
I'm happy to stay away.
NBA wise, one of the things that I absolutely positively think, and there's, long story tradition of this, the 12 noon game, which has a total of 223.5.
Yeah.
The Knicks in San Antonio, 223.5 that's an under, isn't it? Haven't we learned over the years?
As you know, I don't do heroin, I don't do cocaine, and I don't do basketball over-unders. This is my 3 stayaways.
Fair enough. There's a long story tradition of Christmas Day unders, and especially that always weird 12 noon. Nobody's awake, People had to cut their Christmas, their present exchange early.
I'm sure it's going to win. I won't be participating.
Okay, fine.
The Celtics are minus 10 against Philly, which is way too high because the Celtics team could lose or come close to losing to anybody. They're just getting ready for April. Lakers Warriors are a complete stay away to me.
Complete stay away.
I don't know what to do with that game. All right, so maybe we'll just do the Dallas game. This is all helpful, House.
Yeah,
so
we
if
can
we
put
have
it into
KC
something.
minus 2.5. Oh, so we have a little. You could do a little Christmas parlay with the Dallas Mavs money line, KC money line, Ravens money line, Seattle money line. A little Wednesday, Thursday. That's plus 406.
That's fun.
Let's do that. Okay. $1 million picks. Week. Do you want to do that big bet as the big bet?
It's a Christmas buffet edition, and let's have
buffet.
that. We need
buffet or buffet,
buddy. Look, we've been around a long time.
A buffet.
It's because we're going for it all. We love a beautiful prime rib. That's our big bet. The prime rib bet.
Yeah.
The prime rib Christmas bet. The beautiful thing that comes out. It's got 4 bones. It comes out. You let it sit for a little bit. It's just going to be magnificent. One big bet, and then let's sprinkle some of these all of the slides that go around the Christmas buffet. Right? You've got your whatever you want. We have buffet. The shrimp. We've already got the shrimp and the crab cakes as the appetizer part, so that's a small one. Right there. And then, some great mashed potatoes that go with the prime rib, whatever greens you want.
You're making me hungry as you do this.
It's Christmas.
Right. $1 million picks. Week 17, part 1. Holiday edition. We won $210,000 last week. We were up $1.464 million. And it would have been more except for concussion protocol. Our guy, Jalen Hurts. Hope he feels better. I don't think your team wins. Your team, little horseshoe on the shoulder of that Commanders team this year.
Hey, I think we've earned it. We've come by it, honestly.
You've earned it. It was 20 years.
25 years. Yeah, exactly right.
All right. So our big bet, Kansas City adjusted plus 3.5 at Pittsburgh with the Baltimore money line against Houston, because we both think Baltimore, they're beating Houston. KC, we're factoring in a little bit. Who knows? Tomlin, underdog, home, Steelers crowd.
Sure.
KC played 4 days ago. We're going to be respectful. KC plus 3.5. Baltimore money line is minus 108. $250,000 we're putting on that one. KC minus 2.5. Straight up. Stay away, or you want to just have the adjusted?
No, let's bet on it.
All right.
The numbers are incredible. Kansas City's going to win this game.
All right.
The only problem is that they might win by 1 or 2 and then we lose the bet. But, we can say that out loud. That's what Kansas City has done all season.
50K or 100K?
100.
All right. 100K, KC minus 2.5 at Pittsburgh. Baltimore minus 9.5 adjusted against Houston is plus 172. We're putting that with the Seattle money line.
God, that's good.
On Thursday, that is plus 312.
What's your favorite Christmas pie? This is that's your dessert. That's a magnificent, because I
like so many pies.
You could eat some of this from Wednesday night into Thursday. I've
become a sweet potato pie guy.
Oh, fantastic!
Why is it so good?
Thank God. Why is it so good?
It's so long for me to get there with sweet potato pie. It's just delicious.
Yeah,
we're putting plus 312. How much? 50K or 100K in that? 50K? 100K.
You want to do 50? Let's do 50.
Let's put 50 on that. 50K on that.
50. And
then finally, KC, Baltimore, Seattle money lines with the Dallas Mavericks to meet our dysfunctional Christmas guest, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Amazing.
That's plus 406. We'll put 50K on that as well. Those are the $1 million picks for part 1, the holiday edition, week 17. House, how much are you going to eat on Christmas Day?
The over-under is 2,500 calories. I had a conversation with my heart doctor, and I told him I would take the under, but that was a lie. That was a lie. Take the over.
All right. That's it. We will see you for the actual podcast on Thursday for the rest of $1 Million Picks. Merry Christmas, House.
Can't wait. Merry Christmas, buddy.